Peace. This is Watch for Wadsworth Media back at y'all for another round. And fight fans, buckle up. It's on. It is fight week. I'm hyped. I've been waiting for this fight weekend for months. Ever since it's been announced. We got a major triple header main event. I mean, let's start with the fact that we're going to get this match. I'm telling you now, it's going to steal the night. And not only is it going to steal the night, it's going to go down as a candidate for Fight of the Year. And that is none other than Puerto Rico's own Subriel Matias versus the Dominican Republic's own Alberto Puello. Now, the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans, we have our sibling rivalry. And yes, it's a sibling rivalry because we're brothers and sisters. We both come from the Taino Indians in the Caribbean region. And, you know, our sibling rivalry was mainly on baseball because we were two very competitive, good baseball teams. But now, you know, usually Puerto Rico was the dominant factor, had the most champions and most fighters. But now the Dominican Republic in these last few years, man, the Dominicans are coming strong. Dominicans have a lot of great fighters representing for them. And one of them is the guy that Matias is fighting, and that's none other than Alberto Puello. Puello is a big puncher. Puello comes in there with a lot of skill. He doesn't come to tap dance, and he comes there to tap jaws. And it's going to be Puello versus Subriel Matias. And we know Matias' pedigree already. My condolences to the family, but, you know, somebody lost their life fighting Subriel Matias in the ring. So that speaks in and of itself. So that, I think, is going to be fireworks. And I think it's going to steal the night. That fight, when it's all said and done, we're going to be talking about that one. But then, and what I believe should be the main event, and that is Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. William Zepeda has one of the highest outputs in all of boxing. He throws a lot of punches. Mexican, comes with that Mexican style. Doesn't back down, throws a lot of combination punches, a lot of punches and bunches. And he's going up against a guy in Shakur Stevenson who is he lives by the sweet science of boxing. Hit and not get hit. So we're going to see. Some people, I even seen Oscar De La Hoya make a video talking about Jose Luis Castillo versus Floyd Mayweather, and that, you know, he tried to make it seem like that's going to happen to Shakur Stevenson. Like, it's going to be a boxer puncher that's going to overwhelm the defensive fighter. But let me tell you something. We heard the same thing when another boxer puncher who had one of the highest punching outputs in boxing at the time, and Oscar Valdez, we heard the same thing. Oscar Valdez, he's going to force Shakur Stevenson to fight, and Shakur Stevenson's not going to know what to do. He's going to retreat. He's going to be running on his bike all night. Yeah, all right. Shakur Stevenson stood right there in the pocket and knocked down Oscar Valdez. Scored the only knockdown of the fight. So I expect the same thing. I expect Shakur Stevenson to stand right there in the pocket, even though I think William Zepeda is a more polished boxer than Oscar Valdez was. Oscar Valdez was a very talented fighter, but Valdez was a lot more grit, a lot more heart than anything. You know, like, he was like a Carl Frampton. Like, he came with a lot of grit, a lot of heart. I think Zepeda's a little more polished. I think I like his jab a lot more. He's a good fighter. But Shakur Stevenson, when I tell you, Shakur Stevenson is going to, these are the fights that people used to talk about, like Floyd Mayweather. Oh, he's gonna fight Juan Marquez, and Marquez is his punching output. All right, y'all gonna see. These are the fights that pure boxers usually they shine in these type of situations because you're going to see that William Zepeda is going to get caught with a lot of clean shots, because aggressive fighters, they tend to think a boxer, a person that's defensive oriented is going to just sit there and try to, no, they are going to calculate counter punches, and in fact, at times they become the aggressor. So don't be surprised if Shakur Stevenson becomes the aggressor in this fight. And lastly, we have what is the main event, and that is Hamza Sheeraz versus Edgar Berlanga. This fight is taking place out here in New York City, which is the backyard of Edgar Berlanga. And Hamza Sheeraz, like I said in my previous video, he's from the other side of the world. The Eastern world may know him more than us over here in the West. But Turki Al-Sheikh, coming from the Eastern world, he loves some Hamza Sheeraz. He loves this dude. So he loves him so much that in Hamza Sheeraz's fight, I think it was against Adamas, you seen him in the middle of the fight going up to Hamza Sheeraz in his ear, telling him things. Like, he must have told him, like, yo, you got to throw more punches, or yo, you're down in the scorecard. He told him something, and he caused some controversy behind that. But just that alone, you saw that alone, that's the only time he did that, that's a Turkey guy. That's one of his guys. So Edgar Berlanga, if you want the win, you better knock him out. You better come there for the knockout, because you already know that's Turkey's guy. That is Turki Al-Sheikh's guy, so you better come in there for the knockout. You in your hometown, you should have the backing of, some home support. But Hamza Sheeraz, from what I've seen him fight a few times on the Riyadh season cards. He throws, he's a good boxer. He's a good boxer. He's tall. You always hear me saying on my page, I would like for fighters to fight their height, and he does that. He's tall, and he utilizes his reach. He uses his range well. He's a good boxer. Edgar Berlanga, it's going to be tough for him to get in because of Sheeraz's boxing ability and his good use of his range, his reach. So this is going to be a tough fight for Berlanga, but I think Berlanga could get it done. Depends on the type of training camp he had. If he watched some tape and, studied the film on how to get in, some of his openings, like that Adamas took advantage of, I think Berlanga could get it done. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm hyped, man. Triple main event. This is going to be great, man. Matisse versus Puelu. Stevenson versus Zepeda, finally. And in the main event, Berlanga versus Sheeraz. I'm hyped. This is Waz for Waz Words Media. Peace.